how do you guys, what tips can you give teachers to build these types of discourses rather than just debate around these topics in their classroom? You know, if we want to kind of all eventually arrive at discourse rather than debate.
I would ask you people, your audience, to go to your UVA website.
I love how you keep shouting it out. I'll take it.
No, because it's in there. It's also in the book that Robin and I wrote. There's actually there's a methodology here around what's called responsive engagement, and a process of preparing students for how to have these kinds of conversations. And you begin by having the teachers do it with each other, but there's an actual fairly straightforward, effective way of getting students to learn how to listen to one another and to have a discussion with each other where they're trying to come to a common position. And they may not arrive at the common position, but that's what they're working toward. And they have to back up what they're saying with the information that they have from the primary sources that they're using. And they have to then make use of the statements that are made by their peers. And one of the things that I've seen teachers do that I think is quite wonderful is, following the discussion, the students have to write something. And in the writing, they have to quote one of their peers. So they have to have shown that they were actually listening to what the other students had to say. And what I can tell you, that for the teachers who are on this today, what we have found, and that why teachers like doing this, is that you don't have any classroom management problems. This is one of the most engaging, motivating things you can do in a class, is to have students actually taking control of and having these kinds of dialogues. So I would ask people to go to your site. The book that Robert and I wrote that's what it is. It's how to do this. And what I can tell you is that it works. And the students learn more history this way than if they are simply doing it in the traditional sort of teacher talk, student listen kind of mode, or just read your book, take a test. It brings it to life. It makes it something that is current in the student's own experience.
And I would have to imagine as well, Dr. Nucci, that to further that process, so to make that process even more successful, the teacher would have to model that sort of behavior. Absolutely. Himself, herself, themselves, right? And saying, you can't expect the students to do it if you're not doing it yourself with the students.
Yeah. In fact, the way that we work with teachers is we have the teachers doing these dialogues with each other to start with, before they go in and work with the classroom. And it's something that opens people's eyes, because a lot of teachers are afraid they're going to lose control of the class. That if they have the students engaged in these conversations, the kids are going to go off task, and so on. What you have is you have an assignment that comes from this dialogue. You don't just have them go talk and go have a coffee. You have them do the dialogue, and then they have to actually write an essay at the end of it about what they got out of it. And so the students are then getting both the academic work, but you can't just fill up the time. There's a goal here, and you're correct. The teachers need to learn how to do it first. Yeah, exactly.